Hey guys, what's up? This is Alicia Kramer. Today I want to make a small video about my career story in 4 books. That's right, 4 books, and I have them here, and I'm excited to share this story with you. I also have my daughter, baby McPoochie, Princess McPooch, here with me in order to share my story. So, here we go. It's not the most tragic story in the world. It's not an incredibly dramatic story. It's just probably just another career story. I'm sure you guys have heard thousands of career stories by now. So I'm gonna start off with the first book, which is the first book, which is The Art of War. The Art of War by Stephen Pressfield. And the reason why I really like this story is why I really like this book is because it was given to me by another screenwriter. A screenwriter. I'm not a screenwriter, but I wanted to be when I was younger. That's why I studied literature in college. As I was finishing my literature degree at age 23 at Bar Ilan University, we had an American family friend who had moved to Israel from Los Angeles, Jason Winokur. Thank you very much. I think he's working at Netflix or something like this. One of the channels, one of the television channels, and he's a great writer, and he kind of mentored me in terms of my writing, and he gave me lots of books to go through. I tried to give this book back to him. It's about how to break through the blocks and win your inner creative battles, and he never took it back. So, Jason, if you're watching this and you want your book back, I sent you an email, by the way, and asking for your address, but I might try to hit you up again. Maybe I'll even tag you on LinkedIn when I share this video. So that's a great book. It's about how it's about discipline and artistic creativity. It's about how ideas is not enough. Execution is actually incredibly important. And the great author is one the great writer, the great creator is one that stays disciplined and is able to pummel through and create great work at any time. That's book number 1. Okay. The next book, which I purchased maybe 3 years later or so, is called The 5 Great Rules of Selling by Percy H. Whiting. I'm going to check actually when it was published, and then I'll tell you a little bit about the background. Just trying to make this stand up. Okay, it was published. Let's see here. Something like the 1940s. It's a really old book. Copyright 1947, okay? A year before the establishment of the State of Israel, 1947, okay? Just soon after the end of World War II. And the reason why I really like this book and the reason why it really was important to me is because it's all about sales. And that's something that's really troubling to me about the modern day education system is that there's 2 things we never learn about. Number 1 is sales. Number 2 is about market research. So nobody actually sits down and talks to you about the economy. Here's what the economy looks like. Instead, we're memorizing all these facts about Napoleon and the French Revolutionary War, and I grew up in America, and the War of Independence and Britain, and they have you memorize these facts like what was the name of the general who conquered Burgundy or something in 1608, and you need to memorize those. And it was so troubling to me that in the school system we never actually learn how to sell, and that's actually one of the most important elements of any business. Is to learn how to sell, how to persuade people, whether you're working in marketing, whether you're working in sales, whether you're working as an employee in a huge company of 300 people or 500 people or 1,000 or 5,000, you just always need to sell your boss. You need to sell your coworkers on ideas. You need to sell new clients on your services, and that's something really troubling. The 5 Great Rules of Selling, I think it was somehow connected with the Dale Carnegie course. Maybe it was similar. It was by someone that was connected with Dale Carnegie or somebody that used to give these sales seminars, like a Tony Robbins of the 1940s. And that's a great book. So a little bit after that, I realized that I really appreciated that purchase from a used bookshop. I went back to the same one and I purchased this book, Oracle 8 Administration and Management. It was a book that I read the first 50 pages and I never actually finished it. I read the first 50 pages because I knew I wanted to get into coding. I had already been doing some online marketing, some content writing, and I was really interested in web traffic. And I realized that if I know how to code, I'll be more efficient. And I'm anyways going to spend a ton of time in front of the computer for the next 35, 40 years, so I might as well just learn how computers work. I was really curious about stuff like the Facebook ads and how the system works and how these websites are built and what the system looks like. So that's why I went out and I went to the used bookshop and I asked them, do you have any books about computers? And in Israel, you have very few books within bookshops in computers and about computers. Everything is just blogs, but I like to read, so from books. And I got this book. I read the first 50 pages, maybe the first 40, and I realized that it was totally, totally irrelevant. I didn't understand it. I didn't understand what was happening. Okay, Oracle 8 Administration Management. Okay, and the reason why it was important was because I still hold on to it because I never threw it out. And that's because it reminds me of the importance of knowing how to create the right curriculum for yourself. If you don't create the right curriculum for yourself, you're going to burn a lot of time studying the wrong things. You only have a certain amount of cognitive energy, pretty much. There's Princess McPooch. Okay? You only have a certain amount of cognitive energy, and if you waste your time studying things that are totally irrelevant, like, for example, things that have no market demand, or you waste your time as a small business owner or as an employee doing the wrong tasks, so you're just going to burn your own time. You're just hurting yourself at the end of the day. Okay? That's that book, Oracle 8. Now, what I did shortly after that is that I went to a coding boot camp, and in a coding boot camp, it was a 3 months long. It would cost a good amount of money, about 21,000 shekels, and also the opportunity cost of working 3 months. I actually got burnt out in the first 2 months or so. I got totally burnt out. Everybody in the course was just getting the information much faster than me. It was all about coding websites, and learning JavaScript, which is the modern day language of the web. If you want to get into coding and study your first coding language, I highly recommend studying JavaScript because you can do pretty much anything with it, especially building websites and doing all sorts of online tasks. If you deal with the internet, if you deal with a laptop and you log into the internet, it could help if you know JavaScript, which is pretty much most people that have desk jobs these days, and most people have desk jobs, not agriculture jobs. Even if you have agriculture jobs, you probably need to put your data into Google Sheets or something. You're probably still using a computer. You probably own a computer, and you want to be as efficient as possible in it over the next 40 years for the rest of your career. So that's why I really appreciated this book, because I actually I purchased it about 6 months ago. I purchased about 2,000 shekels worth of coding books. That was 2 years after doing the coding boot camp, because I wanted to continue developing my skills, and I feel like that's a really important part of my career story, which is continuing to stay curious, continuing to stay hungry, and exploring new opportunities, and just being and just pivoting, and knowing that you're not just the sum of your own parts. You can learn new things. You can expand your mind. You can actually challenge yourself. Hopefully you don't feel like you've plateaued in your current job. A lot of times I switched jobs because I felt like I wasn't being challenged in one job, or because I realized that it wasn't going to take me where I wanted to go. And I really not sure exactly where I want to go. I may want to be an independent business owner one day, maybe have a marketing agency, maybe build websites professionally as an agency. I'm working with a small business now which does crowdfunding. If anybody needs any crowdfunding services, sorry for the shameless self-promotion. But that's pretty much my story, and I'm trying to continue to develop my coding skills during my day job, and that's pretty much my story. I guess it hasn't been a total failure, because I have a wonderful Princess McPooch with me, and a wonderful wife who's always supporting my crazy decisions, crazy pivots. So this is the 10-minute summary of my career. Thank you very much.